Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Then celebrate it with or without champagne or rum.
Anyway, I don't know what's happened to edit on Facebook. Why? I don't want to edit. I just want to. Okay, I don't care if it doesn't go on Facebook anyway. Facebook is not really my thing. I do stream to it, but it's not really important to me. How are you, Cristina?
I'm doing good.
Yeah,
It's Monday.
Yes, we're here. It's Monday. It's very close to Christmas. The more shows I do, the more I realize that Christmas is around the corner. This could be our last show before Christmas. Probably is.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is. Unless we want to do something.
No.
No. It's
I'm
too close.
I've learned to give myself from the 20th
Right.
onwards. It's not going to work. No, that's what I say to myself. It doesn't work, right?
All right. Next time is the new year. Good.
Yeah. New Year it is. So our friends are here. So of course we're going to pack a lot into our show today, as always. Alavine, welcome. I'll share the link to join the studio if you want to join the studio, because of course we'd love to hear your thoughts and your questions, your insights, your experiences. How are you doing, Joshua? Glad you're here, my friend. You're a busy man. Good to see you, Sharon. Hi, hello.
Waving. I'm going to be
LinkedIn
like
user. Is that
the
Annie?
old queen.
No, the Queen has a special style. I don't know what
I know. She was lovely.
It's like she's dead, right? She doesn't actually move her hand or her body. She just, something like that. you got the style there, right? LinkedIn user. Is that Annie? Is that Christiana? I have no idea. You're gonna have to let me know, my friends. Of course, Leanna's here as well. Welcome. Natalie, I see you too. Welcome, my friends. Of course, there's more people here. If you're here, please do drop us a comment, say something. Otherwise, I can't see and I can't welcome you properly, right? I love to welcome people. I got told off in my last show for welcoming people. There's Annie who's
Hi, Natalie.
User, right? So I got told off for welcoming people. I just can't not do it. There's some things you create in this world, right? And so I started when I started doing audio rooms, I insisted on welcoming everyone. Of course, I know it's all right when you got 10 people. When you have 100, it's a problem. It's not a problem. It just has to be done, right? Because they're giving us their time. I truly appreciate that for everyone who gives me a minute of their time. Because your time is valuable, right? You could be anywhere else but here. So, I do say, give me a chance to welcome you properly. If anything, it's good marketing for you as well, right? So I do always say there's different levels of marketing in events. Now, when you join an event, that's a basic level, because at least you're here, right? But no one can see you. No one knows you're here. When you drop a comment, then people get to see your name. When you come in the studio, they get to see and hear you. That's when they really start buying into you. That's when they truly start to engaging with you and wondering, can Cristina help me? If we never heard from her, no one would care. I know the days of social media, we've all been there. Those days of doing post. Nothing happens. You might get some likes, but nothing happens, right? You don't get inquiries. So these, being seen and heard in these events, it's a great thing. It's one of our greatest innovations, if you ask me, right? Christina, Natalie's loving your hair. I thought she was wearing a suit, Nat. She's wearing a smart shirt. She's like, Christina's like, you lot, leave me alone. What are you trying to say? It's so complimentary, Cristina. So complimentary. How have you been anyway? It's just me talking. I'm talking.
No, I've been great. I am actually on a little bit of a high because in November I closed this coaching session with this school that I took on as a client, and I got to teach to adult students. They are ESL students of level 4, right? Studying English as a second language. and they got to learn about the basics of AI and personal branding and LinkedIn, and how to put it all together, building a product service ecosystem and e-commerce. So it was a lot of fun, lots of energy to see people really realizing what was possible utilizing these tools, and now their ideas can now be a reality. So I'm still, reveling in it. I'm still celebrating it with them, and having, a little party with the school later in January, and then I'll continue in winter and spring. So, that's I just love coaching and teaching, and when you get to teach to a group of 15 students, it's just you just see it in action. You see
Yeah.
the excitement in action.
Well done, you. Well done, you. Melanie, I see you, Melanie Superstar. So that was my show. I went to a show earlier while I was waiting to join my last show. She always has amazing guests and always talks sense. So it was just you today though, but she talks like deep topics always. So I say welcome, welcome, superstar. If you haven't been to her shows, do connect with her. There's always a song in it as a title. So she always plays a song that the conversation is based around songs, right? Anyway, let's come back to you, Christina. Say, here's a secret no one knows about any. So I can share your joy. See, for 10 years of my life, I taught at Westminster University in London. And I taught the HR class to adult students. Yes, most of them were foreign people, but there's a joy in teaching adults. And some of them were very keen. And I think they appreciate your effort. Maybe I wasn't very good, but I knew I had lesson plans. Michael, I do see you. I had lesson plans, and they were always at the end of the term, they were always round of applause. I'm like, for me,
Yeah.
and there's a joy in seeing them develop. To actually see them walk away with real knowledge. So I can imagine the joy that you feel.
I usually walk away with a card and chocolate. So
yeah, I didn't like the travel. That's why I left that job in the end. So I did it for about 5 years, maybe a bit longer. And in uni or in education, the pay doesn't really go up. That's a sad thing. So it's all right pay when you start, but halfway through you think, you know what, I'm gonna do something else, and not have the stress of traveling all the way here and have to keep facing our supervisors. I didn't like them either. Because I just didn't like them. Anyway, well done, you. Congratulations to you and your students. I say that for sure. Jay, yes, Jay. Are you stalking me, Jay? No, Jay was on stage just now in my last event. You're welcome to come on stage, my friends. I'm going to share the StreamYard link now. Because I want to hear from the authors in the room, especially. So that's Melanie. I know you're writing your book. Jay's got his book already. Michael's working on his book. So it's nice. Because our conversation really is, how can you build that authority? I'm sure Leanna's got a book as well. I know Sharon's got it again. Sharon is in more than one book, right? Yeah, so the question is, how can you really build authority? Again, Cristina, I say every day I write about my gratitude for helping my clients get visibility, get brand authority, and get sales. I'm a publisher, in case anyone missed it, by the way. I'm saying that this is a conversation that you have to build authority somehow. Get known in your field as a person who does what you do. And people get to know, like, and trust you. How do we do that? Because that's what ultimately gets you to people making inquiries, and then people actually buying from you in the end, right? So, Cristina, what are you going to tell us? I wonder. America, welcome as well, my friend. Welcome. I'm going to share the link now. So, Cristina, talk to us while I share the link.
Okay. First of all, happy Monday. Thank you for joining us. Your presence is very much appreciated. So what am I going to tell you? It's the whole thing for me. What comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Especially when you're trying to build authority, your personal brand, and trying to get what you do known through the masses in social media. So how do you do it? Uh, the thing is, you have to stay aligned. You have to build the topic, and you have to build your content topics and your offers all around that. So can a book help you build this authority? Yes, because depending on what your business is, what a book can do, it can become actually one of your entry level offers that gives people a taste for what you really do, and what it is, the because you can express your warmth and your personality and your knowledge and your authority all through a book. If somebody sits alone in silence reading your book, they really get to know you, and then they can also, it can really be a door opener. It can lead them to bigger decisions. Perhaps you offer courses, or you offer one-on-one coaching programs. It really depends. It's very personal to every type of business. Of course, if your business is the one to be a writer, of course you need a book. You need several books, right? You have to be known as a writer. But when I talk about building a product service ecosystem from content to cart to client, that's exactly what I talk about. I found myself in the last couple of months in several conversations about, uh, is my offer too expensive? Because I'm spending 3 and 6 months with this person, and now I'm charging thousands of dollars, right? But I'm still new. I still am my second or third client, and I don't feel confident. I feel like I'm charging too much. But when people usually tell me that, they know they're not charging too much. They're just dealing with some confidence issues, right? Because they're getting their first payment in the new business that they're into, but in reality, they've done the job probably throughout their careers. Just now they packaged it finally in an offer, right? So what I usually tell them is that, okay, so that's your offer, that you should price that high and correctly because you're investing that much time one-on-one with somebody. But then you have to have other things, other ways that people can access you. So it could be a masterclass where you're talking to multiple people, or a book, a $27, $30 book, $15 book, whatever the price is, right? And that's actually the most easy, accessible, easy access thing for somebody that is trying to make up their mind, whether you know your stuff or not, or they want to work with you and what your style is. And so that could become your really, really your entry level offer. And if you do choose that path, you should advertise the hell out of it, because it is the path that you've chosen. And also, it's so much more than that, because now we're talking about ecosystem, right? Your content on LinkedIn and elsewhere, and your book, for example, as your entry level offer. That leads also, the beautiful thing about a book, especially an ebook that you discover on Amazon or you download, is that it has living parts in it. You can put links in an ebook, in the introductory page or the last page. You can actually put links there. So imagine now going the next step, and somebody is done reading your ebook and clicks on the link where they see all your other social medias. They see a couple of videos of you, your live streams and other things that they can join, and other ways that they can access you. So a book is so much more than a book. It's really a door opener, especially in if it's an ebook format. So yes, of course, who doesn't love the old paperback format? But the books that I would promote on social media really heavily in those digital downloads, because now they can be doors to other parts, other ways that people can find you and collaborate with you. So now they found you on social media, they heard you on any shows or other people's shows, they read your newsletter, they keep liking your posts. Now they see this ebook that it has a certain price, or sometimes you can promote them at a lower price if the scope is really for your book to be a door opener. They download this book and they get access to all your other stuff. So they get a taste of you, they get access to your other stuff, another way, other ways to connect with you. And it's just a win-win. Now it goes from content to cart because they got the ebook to possibly a client, because one of the most important thing as somebody that does business on LinkedIn, if your book is supposed to promote also your business, is to have, okay, how can I read the book, how can I work with you now? Have a link right there for somebody really, to book a call, to book an appointment, or, access to the social media where you're really live, DM me through LinkedIn, for example. So something like that. So that's why, I think it's definitely a great addition to your brand and to your business, because it's not just a book just to say that you're an author on your profile. It is really so much more. If the book is well done, it really showcases your authority. But also, if the book is well thought in terms of marketing, now it's taking your potential client to other places where they can connect with you, they can collaborate with you, and they can access you. So those were my thoughts when we were thinking this event, Danny.
Of course, you're 100% right. There's a lot more. A book is not just a book. Yes, I love that. It's true. A book, it's a door opener. So a lot of people want to write books. So someone messaged me yesterday, and they're like, I want to publish 20 books in a series. I'm like, you have 3 books already done. You haven't launched them. Why would I ever think of doing another book when you have marketed the first lot, right? My point is that, well, I don't know which of what she said. She says like, "Oh, I need to make money." I'm like, books don't make you money that way. That's just not how it works, right? A book is a door opener. Your biggest benefit from a book comes from one of 2 things, maybe 3 or 4 things, right? You can, as you're saying, Cristina, you can turn your book into a coaching program. It can form the foundation to create other content. Your book can get you speaking engagements because people like the message. But essentially, your book is a way for people to get to know you, like you, and trust you. If they like what you're saying, if they like how your book comes across, then there's more chance that they will engage with you on that level. See, in years gone past, I say years, right? Probably weeks gone past, months gone past, right? We used to write blogs. Remember that? We used to write blogs every week. And I know you write newsletters. They work, right? Now it's content that gets you out there. When I started on the internet in 2000, I was a content development manager. So we used to write articles, guides, which people used to pay for. Whether you pay $3.99, $4.99, $9.99. So an ebook costs a lot less than that these days. Most ebooks cost less than $9.99, right? And those blogs in the days that they used to help people, they used to be just one issue, one document. Whereas your book can be, it can showcase your skill, your expertise, and showcase your passion for your topic. It can showcase the insights that you have that others don't have. But ultimately, that's what people are buying, right? That's what people buy when they want to work with you. They have to choose: do I want to work with you or with you? How are they going to choose? The only way they can choose is by knowing something about you that they can base their decision on. So a book, I'm always going to say, write a book. Let me publish it. Yay, I agree. I say, and look, the last I would say for now is that, I just published a book for one of my clients. I'm saying to her, right, put a QR code on the back of the book. Because that can link to your website, that can link to your other books, it can link to your services, it can link to you any way you want it to link to. So you're making it very easy for people to basically read your book, click, and be in your cart, as you call it. Right? I don't know why more people don't do it, Christina, because I think you miss
QR code on the paperback and links on the ebook.
yes, no, you can put links on the ebook. Of course you can. You can put media on it. You can put media on the ebook. Now, if you want to put videos on the ebooks, you can. Yeah, I guess the only reservation I would have, the concern is that if you put video in your ebook, it's going to create a bigger file because the more media takes up space, takes up bytes, gigabytes, and megabytes, right? And the bigger your book size is in terms of file size, the more Amazon will say you have to charge. So I
Yes,
wouldn't
by
say,
a simple link to where everything lives, you know.
yeah, like you can certainly put links, and the links will, when I say, it's a simple button to say preserve the links in my book layout, and then people can click on the links then. If anything, the problem is how do you make links work for those who read the print version?
You can. So that's why it has to be. I mean, they can see them, and if they really want to go there. So that's why I say usually, you know, it's promote the ebook if it has all the links. But how do you do that? Like you said, with your QR code on the back.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's easily done. I suppose, you know, many people say some people struggle, especially in these days of AI, where they don't really understand the topic that they've written about. Sadly, I see it. You know, and I think you mentioned earlier, been in alignment. You know, you have to know your stuff, and then you have to use your book content to create even more content, more videos, more posts, more whatever you're gonna do with it, right? So you know, whether it's a workshop, whether it's, you know, bite-sized stuff that people can you know, freebies that people can take, but you have to know your stuff really well.
Yes. I talk about a lot pillar content, right? So you are here on platforms like LinkedIn, and a client asked me the other day, but it feels like if we're talking about the same stuff over and over. I was like, well, everybody does, just, you know, differently, adding some innovation, because basically what you're doing in the social media, you are showcasing your philosophy, right? Where you're thinking, what your business is about, how you help, what are your core beliefs are. And so those are that's the pillar content. Then of course, you know, you have to tweak it and write something different and deal with a specific topic today or your newsletter and another on another day and so on. But when you do a book, in the end, it's going to have a summary of all this. It's going to have your core philosophy and your core content. It cannot have everything, right? But it has to be the heart of it all. So if you stay consistent with what you write in the newsletter, in your posts, and other things as your pillar content, then you can always connect it and elaborate and refer to the book, or in the book refer to other things that you do, and so on. So they're not standalone. It's all connected. So when somebody wants to start, you know, as an idea, they want to develop it on LinkedIn, I always tell people start with your pillar content, right? Because this is your core philosophy, and from there you have your specialties, you know, the subject matters that you consistently deal with, and then they can become product, they can become an offer, they can become a book, they can become an event, they can become a masterclass, right? But if today you're talking about apples and tomorrow you're talking about oranges, it's very hard to connect everything. So you have to try to have 2 or 3 topics that are somehow aligned, connected, you know, that they all relate to each other. And then you can package them up as you prefer, as you want. And one of the best ways to package them all up is in a book. But again, what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? The content can come first and the book can come afterwards, or you start with a book and then it just develops your whole philosophy and brand. It's I don't think one comes, it's your choice, it's your personal choice, really. how you feel more comfortable developing your core philosophy and explaining what it is that you are here to do.
I totally agree with you. I think, understanding your core message, your core philosophy is important. I'll come back to that in a second. Kyan, how you doing? I haven't seen you for a long, long time, man. Glad you're here. Welcome back. Hopefully you're enjoying our new video format. So Miss Pepperoni, how you doing? I look forward to meeting you when you do come up to London at Christmas. Sean is here as well. How you doing, Sean? And everyone watching from the audience. You're welcome to join the studio. I've put the link into the comments on the events page. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially those who know. Sean, I know you're writing 4 books. You're about to publish 4 books. 2 for you, 2 for your wife. So we'd love to know what your plan is in terms of using your book as leverage to engage potential customers. Dr. Lisa, welcome. Alexis, you know a lot about this topic. Alexis is my editor, so it's the one who edits all my clients' books. Again, you're welcome to join the studio. Glad you're here, though. It's perfectly fine. Yes, we do use QR codes. Yes, we do. But of course, QR codes work on ebooks as well. And are ebooks more flexible? I heard of another book medium, book type the other day, right? There's something called loose leaf. Have you ever heard of it, Christina?
No.
Okay.
That's something new.
So you write your book, and then you have it as single pages, right? People can buy the books as loose leaf. So it might have like a 3 ring binder, 3 binder holes, right? And people can take the content that they don't want or need today. Let's say you go into a meeting, or you're going on a train trip, and basically you take the chapter that you want with you in your binder and leave the rest at home. Less weight, less clutter. And of course, if you're writing a workbook, for example, that can be really useful, right? Because people can take the exercises that they're going to do that day with them. Now, so that book, the loose leaf book, they are cheaper than the print book, the paperback. And so
Dickens used to have the loose folios.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? It's interesting. There's always innovation. And I saw the other day that Pete asked, Jay, how you doing? Glad you're here. So working on product service right now based on my book. That's it, Jay. That's it. And a good timing, my friend. Welcome. How you doing?
Man, we got to stop meeting up like this, dude.
No. Let's keep doing it. It works for me.
Cool. So, well, anyway, it's been a long time since I've had some time. So it's been fun being back on the LinkedIn Live circuit. So I'm just about ready to finish my platform, Annie. And it is the Rule Your Story platform. Ain't that crazy? So I wrote a book, and guess what? It's coming up on the anniversary, the 1-year anniversary of the publishing of said book on December 19th. Last year, Annie and I published my book, The Rules of Engagement in Storytelling. And so I talk about timing, right? It's coming up, and I think I'm probably going to hit that mark again with finishing this platform. So the platform takes the user on a journey through my book, each chapter, each rule, right? So rules of engagement and storytelling, 10 chapters. And then at the end of that, they should have an outline of their story. And there's 3 tiers. I'm going to give you everything right now. So your audience is actually going to be the first to hear this. So here's what's happening. There's going to be 3 tiers. One is the personal tier, and it's at a moderate to low price point. So barrier to entry is super low. You're going to be able to get in there, and you're going to be able to use this platform to get an outline. Where it gets good is the next tier up. So you go from personal to professional. So if you want to be an author, if you want to publish a book or whatever, you go through the same process. The only difference is now you've got AIJ helping you through my entire book. Okay. And you've got some other things. You're going to get the PDF. You got a bunch of other things, more value, so that you get a better product and more help to tell your story in the professional tier. And then lastly, this one, this was as a result of coaching, and it blew my mind, licensing. So if a company wants to use this format, Cristina, I'm taking a page, a loose leaf page out of your playbook, and I am monetizing this and licensing it, right? So that they can then use it throughout their organization. So I think it's going to be something that everybody can use. And the page that I'm pulling from Cristina is an ecosystem. This is an ecosystem, right? Once this is done, I'm now reverting back to a lot of my experience as a small business owner. Man, nobody helped me. So now I want to help other businesses. So now that we've got your story as a business, I'm going to help you with getting funding. So I'm partnering with an organization that's going to help get you funding, either, venture capital type funding or loans. And then following that, if you need a BPO type service, I'm going to help you with that. But it all starts with your story and my book, The Rules of Engagement and Storytelling. So, Cristina, when you were talking about ecosystem, I was like, yeah, I need to jump in. I can't just shut up, because that's the truth. You want people to be able to continue to gain value from your book. So where do you go from there? Well, here's my plan. Here's what I was able to do. So.
Mm-hmm. You want people to be able to continue to get value from your content and what you do, period. So, I think everybody that has the privilege here to work with others and coach others should also remember this, right? There are those things that we charge for, but then there are other resources that we should always make available for people that don't know us as door openers, but also for those that had enough trust in us to actually support our business by becoming clients and paying us, right? I think that's probably more important than lead generation, to continue the conversation and to continue the support in some shape or form, whatever it is, a subscription, a free subscription, or a newsletter, or, certain numbers of DMs a year that they can have access to you. You should never leave somebody that you help out in the cold without any resources or any access. So that's what I think. Ecosystem is really going beyond the ecosystem and really fighting to keep people connected, and not just, okay, we're done doing business with you, goodbye. No, that's not it. That's why ecosystem is so important.
And I agree. Like Jay, your system sounds like a genius thing. You know, I know that I can imagine the work involved. I'm imagining, but AIJ sounds like you can do a lot. I'm thinking, how much does that cost? But you know, someone have a conversation with Jay. You know, but I think that seeing your book as more than just a book, as you say, Cristina. You know, we don't want people to just read our books and then put them down and that's it. You know, we have to find a way to carry on engaging people. That's our brief as authors. Now we must, otherwise we lose. Now imagine all the money and all the marketing costs to attract your buyers, and then you say, you know what, I'm done with you. You know, lifetime value is what we're talking about here. Really, the long-term value of a reader is a lot more than reading the book. There's a lot more to it. You know, that's only if we learn to create that ecosystem, that path, you know, that can truly help and keep them engaged, keep them benefiting from us, you know, and our book as a front door, right? Go on, Jay. I saw you put your finger up.
Yeah, I want to give a really classic example that people probably would never make the connection to. But if you want to talk about an ecosystem, all you have to do is look to popular culture, and the one group that I'm thinking of is the Grateful Dead. So go back to everybody in the room, and I just want to see the look on everybody's faces when I'm talking about the ecosystem. So some of us know who the Grateful Dead is, right? Sean, you might know who the Grateful Dead is. Cristina, if you've ever followed their history, at the end of the run of there wasn't an end to the Grateful Dead. And there were not just fans, right, that followed the Grateful Dead. They were really part of there was an ecosystem of the band. Everywhere they went throughout the country, people followed. And it was a caravan of people. An entire city literally followed them from place to place. What they did was they built a fan base, and they built it off of the story of the group and of the songs and of the culture. So when you're building your brand, when you're building your product, your service, you're building a community, right? And I want to be that guy. I want to be Jerry Garcia, where at the end of my run, God forbid, I hope it's far, but at the end of my run, hopefully somebody's going to make ice cream in my name. You know, he has an ice cream in his name called Cherry Garcia. Anyway, the Grateful Dead really is, to me, the epitome of what an ecosystem looks like. You just have to follow that formula, and you'll see the caravan.
I totally agree. Look, if it concerns musicians, if Melanie Richards doesn't know who they are, I'll be surprised. I mean, literally, I fall off the ground. She knows everything about music, so I know that for sure. So, you know, I think those successful people build that ecosystem around the brand. Full stop. Right. The book is it's one chapter in all of that. You know, I mean, if it's even events like this, you know, if you've got a book, what is it to do events? All of us on stage have books. It's surprising that. Surprising. You know, Cristina has a book as well. Doesn't talk much about it, but it does the job for her as far as she's concerned, right? You know, I'm saying there's a reason why we all do books, and it's for the benefits that go way beyond book sales. Yeah. Sean, are you ready to talk to us, or should I go to Mel, the legend Mel? I'll come to you, Sean. I thought you were on screen for a second. Please talk to us.
Yes, I was getting a knot out of the neck of the other author in the house. Because she's published 2 books and now she's talking a third. Like, it's like the spark got lit and now the fire. Actually, no, she's got 2 in the works. She's writing one with our son about homeschooling. And the third one ties to her first 2. One of the things I wanted to jump in on is earlier, Cristina was talking about, I think she was saying her clients were kind of hesitant to with the amount they're charging because, I'm brand new. And it reminded me of the old story of this massive ocean vessel is stuck in port. They can't get the motor to start. So they hire a lot of different mechanics to come look at the ship, and none of them can figure it out. And they're losing thousands of dollars every day that ship's in port. So they call the best master mechanic for ships known in the region. He comes out, he brings his little tool bag, he walks around, he looks at a lot of things, checks things, and he takes his bag and he pulls a little hammer and he goes, tink, tink, tink. The ship roars to life. The owners are thrilled because now they can get this shipment out, and they're like, send us the bill. A few days later, they get a bill for $10,000. And they're floored because they're like, he tapped on something. He was here like 20 minutes and he tapped on this one spot and they fixed it. Please itemize your bill. So he responds back. He's like, fee for tapping, $1. Fee for knowing where to tap, $9,999. As Cristina was saying, it's not about what you're doing today. It is, but more so, it's all the years of training and experience and learning that you've taken on to bring you to where you are. Annie needs an auto mute.
No, yeah, I do. That would be a great invention, right? When Annie starts talking, I'll mute him. The word is safer, with a mute button. I promise you. I think that the fact that you can get so much into a book. Yeah, I know we'll want to write everything, but we can't get everything into a book. But we can write more books. We can branch out. That helps. Go on, please.
And the reality is even if we crammed, decades of experience and lessons that we learned into this massive, manual that's 50 pounds to pick it up, who's going to sit and read the whole thing in one? Like, most people don't even finish a book.
Yes.
Right? They say when you're writing a book, you've got to get their attention, and Jay can back this up. You've got to engage them from the first words, or they're putting it down.
Yeah, especially
unless they're like me. I'm reading a book right now that 9 people out of 10 would have put it down pages ago.
Is it that good, or is it that bad, or
it's an academic? It's like an academic text.
Okay.
But that's my thing, is I can go into an academic text, pull stuff out, and bring it down to, something anybody could use.
I would say also, in this day and age, people want smaller books. So it's less of an effort to write a book. So the average book, 80 pages, that's on a good day. So 100 pages, people would think it's a bit long, right? So you're right on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
The
can
one
write
my
short.
wife just wrote, she was actually worried that it was too short.
Mm,
By the time we got everything loaded in Amazon, and
mm.
we did it, all the edits, and it was this many. And she's like, "Oh, that's kind of short." And we put it into Amazon, it was shorter. She's like,
Yeah,
"Should I add more to it?"
yeah. Like the length of an ebook is as long as you want it to be. I know people have written 3-page ebooks. I don't buy those. I'm like, there's not enough there for me to waste my time on, right? What are you trying to do? There's no look. Again, on the print side, 24 internal pages make a print book on Amazon. 24. And as a publisher, we can easily add 5 more pages easily. I'm saying that time you add your author bio, that's 2 more pages. I'm saying your content page, your acknowledgement, dedication, I've just added pages, right? So as long as you've got some meaty content that people can learn something from, then a book does not have to be 100. No, if you come to me with a book that's 400 plus pages, I'll look at you. Jay tried that. His first draft for his storytelling book was 400 and something pages. And Amazon just said, you know what, minimum price, $49 something. And Jay was like, we're like, Jay, reduce it quick. And Jay did, thankfully, reduce it to 200 and something odd pages. I'm saying big does not make better books. Small is quite good. Cristina, please share with us.
Yeah, so about that, you said that I don't like to talk about my books. Okay, I'll be completely transparent and give Annie a little bit of publicity here. One of the main reasons why I don't like to talk about my books is because they're very much DIY. So I didn't seek professional help to make them, and they're not exactly perfectly formatted. So full transparency, that's why I don't do that. However, they were never meant to become, a huge seller. I didn't write them necessarily to sell them. I began putting them together to support my coaching. Or, the first, it was kind of like figuring out what my whole thing was about. And that was the first one. And then the other ones were as I was supporting clients, and there were little things to support my coaching. So that's what it is. That's why I don't talk about it too much. I usually use them as the pillar of my coaching itself. So they're definitely no high professional quality. So that's why I don't know, like, hey, buy my book, this and that. They're there. Is there very useful content in them? Absolutely, but that's what it is. And so personally, the books that I do have, they help me organizing a little bit of everything that I was doing when I first got started. And I did choose on purpose short format. So it was a series of 5. The 5th is still in the works. But these 4 books that are out, basically, I don't think they're more than 50 pages each. One of them is under paperback format. So it's only available on ebook, right? But it was because just to give either a quick motivational boost or a quick understanding of the steps that somebody needed to take. So it is absolutely true. Most people, especially if you're unknown, they'll, unless your book is fabulous or it has a specific purpose of being instructional, they'll put it down. So knowing that as a reader, I said, I'm not gonna, kid myself. I'm gonna make them small, since I'm having the courage of putting them out there. I'm gonna make them small, easy readable, and that's it. But they do serve the purpose, because the purpose is exactly there, being door openers, and you can always edit them and improve them, and that's what I'm working on right now, actually. One thing about this whole book publishing thing is also having access to other web properties. Amazon Author Central, I think it's called, right? You can put your bio by yourself there. You can link other books and other content. Funny enough, they recently eliminated media from the author's page, because people were using it to link to other platforms, etc., etc. So that's gone for now. I'll be curious to see if something else comes of it. But regardless whether you can put a link there or not, just having your name there and the links being within your ebooks, I think will suffice. But it's another way for you to be discovered. So if you do have a book and you have an author's page, Google does crawl those. So, and you can say that you are the author of this or this newsletter, and to follow you on LinkedIn. And if your name is exactly what it is, people probably will find you without having to click somewhere.
People connect with authors. They just do. It's just saying you're an author changes the game. I think that it elevates you instantly. Even for those who've never seen your book. But Cristina, we need to talk. I need you to be proud. I need you to be proud of your books. And we have to work on maybe republish them. Maybe I say, but let's talk. I can't have you not being. I will tell my author friends, wave your book about on screen so we can see it. If I do a Zoom meeting with you, I want to see your book. I'm sure you showed me your book before, right? Let's talk to Mel. I don't like to keep Mel, a superstar waiting. Otherwise, she might fall off the stage, and I'll be like, "Oh, Mel didn't get to speak. I'm heartbroken." Mel, how are you?
I'm good, sweetheart. And the camera is off because, as y'all know,
that's all right. We can hear you.
Her introvert is in the house and heading to her kitchen shortly to make some holiday dishes for a family party this weekend. I am delighted to join you today, and a couple of things inspired me to join you. Jay made a comment before about alignment, and I think that process of aligning, and Cristina said some major gems about it. We have to figure out who in the world we are and how we want to show up in our fragile world, as I call it. I was inspired by Gunnar Hood. He's brilliant man in a group coaching community. And I was trying to figure out who I wanted to be on LinkedIn. I've been on this platform for over 18 years. A dear business coach who is one of our guardian angels playing golf up above while hopefully he's sipping on Jameson's and smoking a cigarette and delighting people with his knowledge. He said, you have to get on this platform because you're about to present at a conference on networking. And I want you to be prepared to examine social networking. I was really stuck in all the time on this platform, probably until just before the pandemic, to kind of figure out how I wanted to show up. And I think that sometimes I'm an event conversion strategist and I'm certified in trust. And the trust journey has helped me bridge vulnerability and transparency. The thing is, when you're in my former life, I was the gift and incentives lady, and I became the gift, incentives, and engagement lady, and now the event lady. So I went from products and carrying bags around them in my car, bags with logos, catalogs, you were schlepping stuff around. And I think back in that industry, the frame, and this relates back to Jay's comment about alignment. I was in an industry where if you read all of the industry publications, they encouraged us to be cookie cutter, homogenized, to not explore what makes us different or what makes us unique. So I'll be straight up. My lane is differentiating. If you're looking to repeat history, If you're looking to repeat history, I'm not necessarily your historical girl, but I could help you look forward or bridge the past and the present. But that part of having content that aligns with who you are and who you want to be. And I love it because there was a mention earlier of ice cream. I'm a chocolate girl, but coffee is my favorite color, or Jamocha almond fudge. And I think you have to explore when you make that hurdle. And my hurdle to leave the 9 to 5 was over 20 years ago. And I had no idea how to do it. And fortunately, we met the most amazing, inspiring ladies on a trip to Tahiti. I met my first paid long-term business coach, and she helped me understand that the ecosystem part is most important. If we can't lean into who we are and locate or create safe and what I call sacred spaces to express yourself, and you'll laugh. We've been chatting for a while. This is my first time on any stage. And the topic is what brought me. The process of building means creating from a core, from your soul language level, as amazing Cheryl Moses has helped me learn, of strengthening your faith walk when the lights aren't the brightest or when the doors aren't open. To create the ecosystem, we got to figure out who in the world we are. What are who and what our authentic voice is. And I'm grateful for a lot of inspiration on the way. I think the challenging part, and I'm grateful Sean Michael is here for this today, because Sean will remind me of this in our next conversation, is that we need to balance the ecosystem, the complexity, and the clarity. Annie says Mel is writing her book. Sean says Mel is an aspiring author. And you know what? You have to think of what your label is. So today I'm grateful to say, yeah, the book outline is finally updated. It'll be ready to go after my trust certification project is completed this week. But I think you have to figure out, if you have a product, is that product you? Is that product something else that has someone else's name on it? Is it a digital product? Is it something you created from scratch? But as part of that ecosystem, there was a great invitation from a fabulous speaker years ago at a conference. And her name was Laureen Pendleton. And her invitation that helped me bridge the ecosystem between products and services and coaching and strategy, and just how I showed up to create ideal future clients or locate collaborators, was Lorraine's invitation was, are you a lifestyle brand? Local, regional? Are you a national brand? Are you a global brand? Rather than figure out your marketplace, figure out the system in which you want to thrive and flourish. And thanks for a chance to join you all today. And Jay, what a pleasure to really have a chance to hear your voice straight out and clear. So I'm wishing you all a magnificent and peaceful day, holiday season, week, whatever it is you're listening to, whether it's live or on a replay, filled with blessings, opportunities, and possibilities. Thanks so much for a chance to join you.
Well said, Mel. Well said. I always forget my friends on replay, but you've managed, you've acknowledged them as well. So thank you so much. I'm glad you got to speak. Sean and I were applauding you when you said that you've made progress on the book. So yeah, Cristina, if you want to speak, feel free.
Yes, good share from Mel. And notice something. Notice how many names she dropped there. That's just the power of, so when somebody inspires you and touches you, you'll say their name. You repeat their name. You say, I learned from this person. I learned from that person. So, Escaping the 9 to 5 is the main title of, this series here in Side Hustle to Business that we put together. Because everybody, a lot of people say, I want to leave my job and build something on my own, be able to sustain myself. And building your core pillar content, the ecosystem, understanding exactly who you are, uh, understanding exactly who you are, etc., 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 is super important. Is a huge part of this. So it's not gonna be just okay. I'm a coach, or I help people writing a book, and and that's it. This is where you contact me. This is my shopping cart. Do business with me. You have to bring people there, and there are many ways to get people, from content to cart to clients. So books is one of them, right? But there are other things like short format books, for example. Like you were talking about something that is really short. It could be like a guided journal, for example, right? That's another way. And a guided journal with your main slogan, something that you like to say at all times, it's also useful. You can give it away as a gift, right? Or you can have it for sale in some platforms. And then, of course, don't forget the QR code that takes it to your actual, it takes people to the actual book or to your actual page. So you have to find other ways to spread your message, the core message of your brand and what you're building. And you know, people are shopping online.
Yeah.
You have to think. You have to think more and more. Sure, social selling, yes, but also uh, other ways that people can reach my brand, maybe through other products. So that alignment is really the keyword that remains. So you can streamline the way that you monetize, right? uh, but you shouldn't think, like you said, okay, I'm going to be rich because I'm publishing a book, right? That's not where the income is going to necessarily come from, unless you sell thousands and thousands and thousands of copies. But what is this medium, this item, doing for me? Where else is he taking people?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Kemi, I have to welcome you. Kemi, where have you been? It's been like 8 months, maybe longer, Kemi. But you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. I say, of course, a superstar author, the one who's doing all the things we're talking about. Paul S is here as well with Jack and Water books. I love my author friends. I just do, right? Sean, I don't like Sean to explode. I like Sean to speak. Otherwise, I can see him like a kettle, right? You know the kettle that's how it blows steam. Go on, Sean, talk to us and show
And
us
the
your
funny
book.
thing is, in other cases, I can have a good poker face, but here, not so much. I had questions. Actually, I had a comment for Cristina. As business owners, coaches, etc., sometimes we forget to follow our own advice. I'm looking at the title of your series, Cristina. Claim your space.
Well, I've been claiming it. Trust me.
That you've got the books published. My question is, I have Kindle Unlimited, so you piqued the cure. You're like, they're not that good. It was DIY, blah 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 blah. So which one should I read first?
The first one, but
The first one. Which one's the first one?
the first one is claim your space, define your worth.
Okay, so the one that shows first on your author page. Got it.
Yes, but about that, this is funny, and my journey is as authentic as it gets. Really, I I was working in the e-commerce industry for many years. I actually first started as a business owner. My first job, I worked for myself. I began buying things, right, and reselling them. And then for a while, for 7 good years, it became my career. That's what I was doing. That's how I supported myself. But then I thought it was a good idea to take all those skills and put them into a career. And it was a good career for good 10 years, running e-commerce operations. And I loved it. But I wanted to claim my space, and that's how the book came about. So I started writing about it because I wanted to go back in working for myself, but I didn't want to be what I was in my previous entrepreneurial journey, which was I was a book dealer. I was dealing antique and rare books. I want to do something else. And I knew that I had the product in me, but I had to get it out. So where my books were, the first one was a way for me to get it out, like almost like self-motivating myself. And then I realized that I was utilizing parts and bits of this to support my clients. But essentially, what they became in the end, they became the beginning of my offers and the beginning of my coaching. And it took a while to get there. It took a good 3.5 years of doing this part time together with my job. So I was still working my 40 hours a week and dedicating 10 to 15 hours a week to my business until I said, okay, now I'm working 70 hours a week. I think it's time to let go of the 9 to 5 and do this full time. But that's how it all came about. So that's why I always say, what comes first, right? The chicken or the egg? What comes first? The book, the idea, the core design, the being present. So first came that title, that Claim Your Space title, and now it actually became my daily mini blog, which is my main source, my main lead generation source. So it's kind of strange and mystical, really, how all things come about, right? How things come about. Maybe you're not ready to say my authority is my books when you start, but you just want to get them out there anyway, because done beats perfect, right? But then you kind of go back to it because now realize, hey, I built an ecosystem. Everything is coming together, all the moving pieces, all the moving parts. And that's what I really would like to encourage others to do. If you have something that you want to say it, post it, get the newsletter out, put your first book uploaded on Amazon, even if it's not formatted perfectly, right? Because if it's all going to come back, what something is going to stick because it's going to be the thing that keeps coming back to you. And you'll see, okay, when I did that, I was onto something. It was actually my core belief, right? And then you can expand and you can grow to it. We all grow. All of us that have been here on this platform. I mean, I'll be on this platform for, I don't know, probably since 2014 or 15, right? But I wasn't using it. I only began using it, I want to say, in 2021, 22, being active on it. But I'm definitely not the same person. I definitely evolved and keep evolving. So some of my work that I posted and published in 2022 is not the same as the one that I'm, posting and publishing now. I'm still proud of it because it's part of my core philosophy. Do it. Get out there, express yourself, all of yourself fully, and start building. You gotta build from somewhere. You're not gonna build a book all completely, perfectly, beautifully bound and all written. You have to write the first page. So that's, the message that I really would like for everybody to get out of this. If you have multiple ideas, that's great, right? Just find a way to align them all under your core idea. Because I was somebody that had multiple ideas, have multiple ideas for years. Actually, big part of the reason why I was able to escape my 9 to 5 is because I built a print-on-demand business that sustains me. And so only now, I'm merging the two things, right? Okay, I have all these stores with all quirky print-on-demand products. Now I'm going to associate them with my brand. But I didn't start saying, okay, this is my brand, my products that I do on these print-on-demand stores, they have to be completely aligned. They served their purpose. They supported me financially, right? And so is there a connection between the two? Absolutely, because it's all part of my story and my journey. And I can I now use the skill, the graphic design skill that I learned over the years and apply to what I do today. I can, and so can you. So really take assessment, of all the things that you learned in your life and all the skills and all the things that you enjoy doing, and start building, and then find the common denominator. And it might become your book. It might become, your practice, whatever it is that you do, but just start. And so that's the main message that I want everybody to hear. Are you still here, Annie?
Of course, I'm still here,
Good.
and
Good.
I agree. I agree 100% with you. See, I mean, when people look at us on stage, I don't want you to think they're the ones who write books. If you'd asked me maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have said to you, I got nothing to. I'm too young. I got nothing to say. Nothing. No one's going to read my book. I was wrong. Eventually, I had to write a book. Eventually, we did write a book, and people still buy the book today. I get royalty checks from Amazon every month. I'm saying because people read the books that we write, right? We are the ones who we have the ideas. When Mel talks about being aligned and one really what's within you, I look at Alavin's comments and I think, you know what, you're right. To write a book, my friend, it's about looking within you, really. When you do, take Sean, take Jay. I listen to these people every week, right? And this said Sean rewrites the mindset teachings in a Sean kind of way. It really, but that's where a book is, right? You're rewriting your niche, your expertise in your way. If you're doing what Mo talks about, which is being homogenized, being average, being similar to everyone else, then don't write a book. It's fine, because you got nothing to write, and your business probably won't survive too long anyway. So now all of us have unique ways in our business. That's what goes in your book. That's why you write the book. Yes, you have to look within yourself, and you have to have the courage to genuinely say, you know what I do has value. It's different to what others do. Someone can read this and benefit from it. Yes, it takes courage. It really does. Look, myself, I will publish books every day. Most of my author friends fall apart when I say, right, it's time to go to the editor, Alexis, to see what she thinks. They're like, what if she doesn't like it? I'm like, come on now. You've gone this far. The courage you need. Get it out there, right? And the most surprised when people say, would you like your book? I say, if you don't write it, no one's ever going to read it. And we all have something we can give to the world. We'll have a unique insight, unique gift. That's why we're in business. And that's we should say we all have a book within us. I got Cyrus and I do a service. There's a book in you. It's true. There's more than one book in you. You find. And I say, look, I'll end by saying, I do the book side. Cristina does the ecosystem side. She does the whole, how you actually sell the book, how you create a business out of the book. So Mel mentioned the need for that sort of person in our lives earlier on. It's true. You can do it the hard way, or you can find someone who knows, and Cristina is the one who knows. She enjoys doing that. It's not that we don't know. We got ideas, Sean, Jay. The thing is that it's not our thing. That's not my thing anyway. Maybe for a coach like Sean, maybe that's some of his thing. If Jay, as a storyteller, marketing is part of this. Your marketing message is what he thinks about. Really, I'm saying, but for me, I just want to do books. So I just want to publish books. Sometimes I get to write the books as well. But get help where you need help as well. That's what I'll leave on that note. Sean, were you going to say something?
Well, when you were talking about courage, Annie, this came to mind. You can't think your way to courage. You can spend hours and days and all the self-awareness, and courage comes when you take an action step. Doesn't have to be a big. I was just talking with another person that I met through a networking group. A micro step. What's the micro thing you can do? Like Christine, I think Christina said, post the thing. You know, share your wisdom. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be polished. I remember when I launched Daily Power Boost just over a year ago, the first few episodes, when I go back and listen to them, I'm just like, bleh. They're horrible. I hate them. You know, but I don't look at them and go, oh, those are so bad. I look at what I create today, and it's like, wow, I've changed so much. I've grown so much. My boldness, my courage to say what other people are afraid to say, to develop my voice, steel spine, soft heart, bold truth teller. You know, I'm not just looking to rewrite. I'm trying to shake up the whole industry in personal development and the way we look at our lives. And as far as the book that's coming, that you said all these books, I've got one that's called Reborn at 50. And that's about how when you hit 50, it's, usually we see that as like, oh, time to start slowing down. And this book will be like, no, this is the time when you get to really shine. Because you have the experience, the connections, everything. And, I've learned in this phase of my life, you care a lot less about what other people think. You're like, yeah, you know what? I got 50 plus years in this world. And, I'm going to tell you the truth, and it might hurt, but I want you to hear the truth, because I wish somebody had told me the truth. And the second one is identity-driven leadership, because I want to shake up leadership development, leadership in businesses. When I see stats that over 70% of people leave because of their manager, over 80% of middle management hires were bad hires. And they're all the precedence of burnout in that mid-level is insane. And it doesn't have to be that way. So my vision is to launch the book, work with people. Like, the book is the what. I always heard this. Give them the what. This is what you got to do. The how, I'm here to guide you. But we're going to have to start talking pricing and things like that. But my real vision is a movement where we actually interrupt the leadership culture out there in the world. And I'll set my mic down. Let Jay or Christina speak.
So we were talking about providing value, right, beyond just the book. And one of the things that people don't realize about me is, one of the things I say is, I'm the storytelling strategist. So stories are extremely important, right? It's how you build a brand. It's how you communicate with anyone. But one of the things I say is, the story that you tell yourself is just as important as the one you share with others. And so if I can help not only build your business, build your brand, get you to another level, I also need help with the other things, the things that Sean is really keen on, and that's self and the story you tell to yourself. Right? So the story and the ecosystem is going to start. And we did a whole thing on Paulette show about self, right? And self-care, but taking it from there and going further. So the ecosystem, I love that. I was just talking about that when I was trying to build this product that I'm building, this platform, so that I take them not just through the journey of building the story of their brand, but building their brand, period, over and over again, and scaling it. And because, there are just a few people to help me, and I want to do the same for others who are in their business. Annie's one of those guys. Paulette was one of those. They were there to help my business. So this is something that I've always wanted to do. I'm now at the point where I can. And I think that once I get this platform set to go and ready to launch, that I'm going to be able to do much more in that regard. So be looking out for it.
I agree for sure. And I mean, why don't we do a Christmas offer, for our books? Let's lower the price a bit, and then do some marketing around that. I'm just saying, why not? Because even if we would knock $1 off the price, for most of us, that would be close to 10% and more, right? So that's it seems silly not to do that. Anyway, Alexis, I see I've sent you the link if you want to join the studio. You have to copy and paste it from here into your browser. I sent you the link for Jay's book as well. So if you want to buy that, it is on Amazon. I've tried the links. I know it definitely works. So, Halim, welcome. I'm glad you're here, my friend. I haven't seen you for a while either. Kyan, I've got two attachments from you. I should check it out. My friends, look, I say the need to build a business. I do a room book to business, right? And it's about building a business around your book. But as Cristina keeps saying, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe chicken and egg. Which came first, your business or the book?
Doesn't matter, yeah.
So you can build write a book around your business essentially, but the two can work together. They have to work together, really. Those who manage to have that alignment, that synergy between the book and the business, they get more customers because you just have more credibility, you have more authority. People just know you. Then more people know you, more people like you, more people just get to trust you. And I say, we can make it worth our while, right? Sean, what's your offer? Let me have a look. Stronger every day. Go on, Sean. Tell me. I say I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, stronger every day. I wrote this targeting self-worth, which I've updated my vision that self-worth is you take care of the identity and self-worth takes care of itself. But I wrote this back in 2023, published it, targeting it towards men. But I've had several women that got it, read it, and said, Crystal's one of them. Crystal raves about the book and how much it changed her life. Because the principles, that's the beauty, right? Is Cristina can share a principle. I can share the same principle. Jerry can share the same principle. And Annie, you can share the same principle. And it will reach different people. It will resonate for the right people. Or it'll give us a new perspective to go, oh, yeah, I never looked at it that way. Because even my wife just noticed this recently. She's read Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek several times because she was in leadership development at a large bank in the US, teaching she always said, I taught managers how to be better managers. And she broke down in tears reading it. And she's like, I've read that book like 20 times and I never saw this. Like, it didn't click like it did this week. It reminds me of the old quote, when the student is ready, the master will appear.
Again, I think that's one of the magic of books, really. The fact that some people read the same books over and over and over and over. It's rare that if you only read a book once, you're probably going to miss half the message anyway. So I'm thinking of Proctor, is that his name? Bob Proctor. He read Think and Grow Rich every day for 50 years. And every day you find something new. I read books several times. I've read Jay's book at least 3 times over. So literally, I read it because each time there's things that you didn't get. So I can see your wife's reaction, Sean, for sure. Now, what's that bookstore? Is that Amazon or is that a different bookstore? My book.
It's a free linking service that anyone can use, any author. It gives you a nice link. You even get to choose the tail if it's not already taken. And it self-localizes.
Amazing. So it's like a one link.
It's a one link. It'll take you to the appropriate Amazon store for your region.
I love that.
Because I've seen times where someone shared, oh, my book just published, and it's a UK link.
Yeah, and no good to you.
It doesn't help me. I got to go find the same book on the Amazon.com site. So it's a free service. It's paid for. It's not even one where you get to use it 5 times and the free you have to pay. This is permanently free. This is paid by other services, and they give this to authors through that.
And I say again, another gem you've learned today, my friends. So I'm going to use this as a publisher. I always need one links, and my usual one links cost me money. You have to be in my bestseller program to do a one link. You don't have to do that.
This is a great tool for any author, whether you're self-published or you're publishing with a publisher.
Sure. Yeah, so we'll definitely try it. I say, it's super handy. I said the fact that people message you and say the link's not working, it drives me crazy. One link is what everyone needs, right? Let's hear from Alexis. Our time is gone, my friends. Our time is gone. So Alexis, welcome on stage. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Awesome.
Just been listening to everyone. It's amazing.
How are the clients doing? They're all doing great. That's what I want to hear, right? Yeah.
Yes, they are all doing great, and we are moving to the next step with every one of them.
Yay! No, I know what that means. Unless you've met Alexis, and you may think otherwise. It's fine. Share with us, please. And I said, now using your book as a door opener, or wherever you want to go with the conversation.
Well, as someone who's been in this business forever, writing, editing, being an author in various genres, I really believe that just from content to cart to client, how it goes, you have to have a belief system, your own core value, your belief system, a passion. You have to believe in yourself, but you have to believe that you're valuable. Your words, your thoughts, your ideas are valuable not only to yourself, but to other people. And you have to get that written. The first time you write it down, it's not going to be perfect. It's the content, and then you refine it. But from my experience, whatever genre it is, if you believe in it, if it's your own story, or it's a story, it could be fiction or nonfiction, technical, non-technical. It's something that drives you. It's the motivation, the passion drives the motivation. And from my own experience, a lot of the things, most of the things I've written have been for either companies or other people. But when I write for myself, I'm finding that it's from my inner core. It's about writing, and what it's reflecting is what I know best, what I might have needed to know, or what I did need to know to get started, or some of my own challenges. And so that's what I'm writing about, my ebooks, and hopefully I will have each ebook and then get to the next step with that. But it's about passion and asking questions, reaching out to people who can get you to the next step. And here, what I'm hearing, that's what I'm gleaning here. Each person has a lot of experience here in where it's under the same umbrella, but from a different aspect, and how they've got to where they are today is through passion and motivation and belief in themselves. And I think that's the crux of this whole business that we're in: writing, editing, speaking, coaching. Coaching is so valuable. And I think that's why we're here today. We all have some kind of common, I don't know if it's a bond, there's another word, but some commonality. And that's why we're here. And I just really enjoyed listening to each person and resonating. So it's been very good. So hopefully this was a good contribution. So thank you, Annie, for the opportunity.
Thank you for joining us. Cristina, so I think you want to say something?
Yeah, great contribution, from Alexis. I really enjoyed it. It's about passion. One thing that I want to say is that everything that we're talking about here, ecosystem, is not different than what's going on LinkedIn these days. Or we say these days, but it's been going on for a year. Everybody's freaking out about their views, their visibility, their algorithm. Basically, there is an ecosystem, and we're part of that ecosystem. And what LinkedIn wants us to do is to create good content that is relevant to what we do or what we say we do in our headlines and in our profiles, right? And relevant to the skills that we say we have in our profile. So basically, that's what it is. It wants us to create those connections so that their system, their AI system, their language, model understands and positions them where they think we belong, right? In the category where they think that we belong. But there is another part to that. Are we losing all these big networks, depending on how big you are, right? That we built over time? I don't think we do. But the thing is, who's in those networks? Because the people in our networks are really the consumer, right? So are they telling LinkedIn that they like the content that Annie's putting out? Or are they saying that they're really interested in chemical engineering instead, right? Because that's the only way they're going to get Annie in their feed, unless they click on the double bell to get Annie on their feed. So that's what's going on, and that's what we are trying to pivoting and adapting to. And the other thing is, when we start here on LinkedIn, I think everybody's guilty a little bit of it. When we first start, right? It's not about the ecosystem, but about the ecosystem. This is me, this is my title, this is what I do, these are all my skills, right? But when we are in the business of, in the service business, where we are providing a service, now we have to write about those people that we're serving. Not about I do this, right? But also the transformations that you offer. So your about page, yes, a little bit about you, but it's about your client that you're trying to reach, so they can recognize themselves in it using those words. So, and what does all this have to do with ecosystem, book and book card, everything? Because we are here, we are using this platform, right? And we're talking about how to connect our content with the book, but also are we connecting it all with our profile and with the existing ecosystem where we are choosing to do business within, right? So that's the whole thing. So when I say alignment, I mean alignment in everything. You chose a platform, you chose LinkedIn, great. What does it want it to do, right? What is the alignment that is required? Align. Does it make sense? Are your people really here? Great. That's how you reach them. You move to another platform, it might be completely a different story, a new set of rules. But I talked to several people in the last couple of months about this very topic because everybody seems to be panicking. So I want to take the opportunity every chance I got to try to explain this a little bit. If you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, you are familiar with the for you content, for you page, right? That's exactly what's happening here. They're gearing their feet towards a for you based on what you've been looking at, you've been talking to, who you've been DMing, who you've been liking, engaging with. That's what's going on. So, and the main thing that we need to understand is why is because they're future proofing themselves for the next 10 years, for the next generation, right? Gen Z, that's what they understand and that's how they operate right now. So right now they're thinking, oh, we're not doing this way as LinkedIn, but the other platforms are doing it. So let's shift towards this technique, this way of thinking. And will it last? No, because things will keep on changing and new ways to filter content will be there. So again, we go back to your own system, right? Your own ecosystem. Make sure that you are aligned, your core beliefs are aligned with everything that you do for yourself in your content, in your post, in your newsletter, in everything, and in your book. If you have a book or whatever other product or merch that you use to promote your business.
I agree with you. Well said. Well, no, some people just like pictures of cats, so they post pictures of cats. So others love quotes. Those drive me crazy. Unless you work in a category, unless you're a motivational coach. I don't understand the quotes thing. It baffles me. So your content has to work together and give a clear direction, a clear message, speak to a clear audience, right? I get what you're saying, Christina. Charito, welcome. You're awake. That means you're woken up tomorrow in our time. But we'll see you there, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Sean, countdown deal. I like that. I like the sound of that.
Yes, because in self-published, one thing I've learned is if you mess with the self-publishing settings, things get like hold delays. But it gives you, as an author, it gives you two options: unlock it for a week for free, or you can actually stage it up, or just have it. Here's the discount price. At the end of the time, snap it back to normal price. So from December 10 for 1 week, it's 99 cents.
Excellent. So this is Amazon's book club, right?
Well, on the 10th, the price should update, and you'll see it as 99 cents.
Okay, I'm saying that you have to be part of Amazon's book reading club, right?
I don't
Okay,
think
are you part of Kindle Unlimited?
Yeah, that's the only way you can do this.
I am.
You are?
Yep.
Okay, so that explains this, because this is not available to us normal people who don't put our books on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, I promote my books like that, usually every few months I go and I do a Kindle Unlimited offer, but I usually give it away for free when I do those for 3 and 5 days.
Give away for free? Let's have that.
Yes, just the Kindle
Well,
Kindle download.
as we all said, right?
There is more
these
to a book.
books are not about, these are the doorway.
Yes.
They're not the final offer. We're not looking, you would have to sell an insane amount of books.
Yes.
Although you will find people on YouTube says, yeah, just use AI, write a book, put it on Amazon and make $10,000 a month.
Yeah, they do. They say they do. I hear you. Mel's back on my YouTube this time. Welcome, Mel. Glad you're back. Thank you for joining us. And of course, your points are, they're very important. Focus on what makes us unique, making that our story, making that to the point of our book. That's an important point, Mel.
About that, there is a way,
Go for it.
what he was saying about get a book and make $10,000 and all that. But I just would like to explain a little bit what people are talking about, right? There's nothing that you can do that doesn't require a certain amount of effort. So if you were solely in the business of printing Amazon book as your digital product and promoting that, you probably can get there. But that means like waking up in the morning and start promoting your books through several social media. Put a pin on Pinterest, write what the book is about. Again on Facebook and the link. So, and you do multiple links, and you also probably go and enroll in some affiliate program, and that's how people get there. Same thing with print on demand, right? I have several print on demand stores, but for me to get to a certain level, I have to put my 8 hours of work into the stores. And these days I don't get to do that. But when I was doing that, I was making about $5,000 out of selling journal stickers and mugs, because I was putting not 8 hours, but 8 to 12 hours when I first started my print on demand stores. Now they're just, passive income. So they make what they make. But if somebody decides this is my business and I'm creating products daily or creating books daily or booklets daily, and I am doing this every day when I'm sitting down and I am promoting them actively through social media, yes, it's possible to, to generate an income to support yourself doing that. But that's your business now. That's what you're doing. You're putting active effort. That's what you picked as the way to sustain yourself, right? And to create an income for yourself. So all these things that we hear about, they're not all sci-fi. It's true, but it's also true that you're working for it. So that's the whole thing there. Can you generate passive income after a while? Yes, Annie just said it. It gets royalty from Amazon's every day, every month on his account, right? I get a few royalties too from Amazon. I get royalties from Zazzle every month because I've done that consistently. But if you want to bring the royalty to where now it's paying your bills, you spend your rent, you're working your 8 to 9 hours a day on it. So that's how it is. That's just the truth of everything.
Yeah, it's possible to make your money on whatever platform you're on. But you have to put the work in. That's a given, right? But the same as your book. If you put the hours in, you sell more. Well, you sell more books, number one, but also more people know about your book, and it opens more doors. But you have to put it. You'd be amazed, Cristina. I think you might be amazed how many authors don't put the effort in. That's what makes Jay's, ecosystem plan such an amazing thing. We have to think more about our books. We have to learn to go bigger, not go smaller. Most people just forget their books, and you're like, why'd you write it? It's not for me to ask some such questions, right? But our books can open doors for us. Kyan, what is CAT? I know you do the digital AI art. You're very good at it as well, by the way, my friend. So if that's something you're interested in, talk to Kai, as he calls himself, right? You talk to him.
That's my AI card. You like
it? Yes, no.
Book covers, Annie. Book covers. That's the cover of my book. I made it.
There may be a part 2 to this. So we'll talk more about the ecosystem part. Literally the components that can make a coherent, and effective, I guess a framework around your book that can really make you, get you visibility, the authority that you want, and of course the customers that you want as well. So we're probably going to do that in the new year. This is the last room for this side of the year, right? Sean, congratulations on putting your book on discount. Well done, you. Jay, so Christina, you got to do the same thing. So have I. So I'll find a way to do it. It might mean us sticking stuff onto our books. So 20% off, and then lower the price accordingly, and we'll have content there that helps as well. Jay, were you going to say something?
I have the whole book on PDF, so I can email it anytime I want too.
Yeah, good on you.
Because I've had people, they're like, I don't have access to Amazon.
Yeah. I sent my latest client a full PDF with front cover and back cover today. It's rare anyone ever asks for that. Because obviously it's about marketing that book through her website primarily. Because Amazon wants to, our thinking was the Christmas bundle for her 2 books, but she got other books. But she wanted these to go together. It's a book and there's a journal version.
I know people that do the Canva version too.
So for her, Amazon wants you to have 3 books to make a series. You can't do bundles on Amazon unless you have, you can't do bundles on books, full stop. So, but we have to find another way, and the other way is to sell the ebook, the ebooks, the PDFs through the website, and it works. There's many ways you can sell books. Right? If you want to know more ways, let's talk. If you want to write, if you've written a book, not published it, damn, let's publish it. If you want to write a book, don't know where to start, let's talk. Let's get your book written. Let's get your book out there, right? All the things we talk about today come to you only if you actually do write the book and publish the book and market the book. That's what I'll say for sure. Again, Jay, please have your last word, my friend, today on the show.
I'm just spitballing at this one, but I think if you'd like, I can be your case study for this ecosystem journey. We can go ahead and look at my platform, and I'll take you through the different areas of the ecosystem, and then even through the different websites. So, just throwing it out there for you.
I'll take you up on that. It's whether we do a part 2 to this conversation, which you probably will. I'm also thinking the book to business might be a good place as well, Jay, for you to come and talk to us, because there's authors there, and to come and talk to us about how it really works, and then people can learn a bit more, right? Sure. It all starts with your book, Jay. It all starts with your book. There you go. So make sure I make the screen bigger. The rules of engagement is storytelling. What a lovely book.
I designed that cover, by the way.
It's got a gold badge, right? It's a cover.
I like it.
It's got a gold badge. Which says it's a bestseller, so 5-time bestseller in the US. So it's all good. Well done, Jay. So well done, all my author friends. I love all of you. Let's write more books. Let's impact more people. And I don't know, Sean's okay. Sean is a digital book, so that's on mobile. Hold on, Sean. Hold on. Right, go on, please hold it back up. There you go. Stronger every day. Know your worth. The link is.
It's actually it's available both Kindle and print. So
excellent. Well, the Kindle is an easier to distribute version, right? It looks good. It does look brilliant. So so I'll check out your one link especially, because that always helps. Thank you everyone who's been here. Thank you, Christina. Sean, what does this mean?
It means good morning in Tagalog.
Many words for good morning.
Magandang umaga.
That's what I wanted. You sound
Mariana,
authentic.
your mother.
You sound authentic as well. So
Well, yeah, I spent a lot of time over there. Actually, Philippine language, it's based on Spanish, so it has a lot of the similarities to your Romance languages. But then they have some sounds that, you know, they take some practice to do them.
yeah, well, you certainly have a skill. You have a knack at it, my friend. You know, good on you. Yeah, I can't pronounce anything that deeply. You know, the English, we like to leave things very sharp.
And I don't know if you saw it, Annie, Kayan's cat.
Yeah, what's that?
I think he just got the letter switched. Call to action, CTA.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought that might be what it is. But you have to ask, right? You have to ask, otherwise.
You did talk about cat videos, or somebody did.
I did. Don't do them, honestly.
Sean.
Also, just try to avoid that. So the ill family member as well, unless I don't know when you're gonna post that. I don't know. I'm confused. Anyway, ignore me. Let's go, my friends.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Sean, before we go. Maraming salamat po.
Cristina, thank you so much as always. That we'll talk. You know, and if you've got any questions, please talk to my friends on stage. You know, Sean, if you want to say anything before we go, feel free. Go on, Sean. Give it to us. Now Sean's at peace with himself.
Well, I'm just like, I'm lost because I don't know what. I know a few things. I know like Kaya Began and good morning and Kumusta ka.
You're good.
I'm a polyglot with about 3 to 10 phrases in multiple languages.
I know.
Spanish is fluent, but Arabic, Turkish, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, Tagalog, Italian, German.
Wow.
Adesso Italian.
Wow. Right. You know, you two can speak Italian or no. I guess, you know, when you do a Zoom meet, right? You know, you two were meant already anyway, haven't you? And now Sean's back.
Only in your space.
Really?
Only in your space.
Please take the opportunity to have a one-to-one. To have a coffee.
And we're linked on Substack now. So
okay, I mean, you two are everywhere. You know, so you two are on the podcast. Christina's a great guest on the podcast. I find these days, you know, she's everywhere. So, and on live streams as well. So, anyway, do connect with my friends. Let's see where we get to. Right? If we don't see you on this side of 2025. Happy Christmas, my friends. Of course, we'll see you on the other side. Right? Take care, everyone. Take care. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drama. She's success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. She's success with Global.Media.com.